when you're a leftist and you're talking about debating a far-right extremist like Leaflit, a person that called Palestinians subhuman, orcs, okay, she literally, like, said they were like orcs from the Lord of the Rings, okay, like, when you're talking about platforming a crazy person like that, you have to be really careful, okay? You need to do it for a good reason, okay? Such as exposing yourself to a bunch of people, okay? That's it. Like, I can't fault Nyara for having that debate when Leaflit has an audience that's like 10 times as large as hers, or like, I think like 5 times as much. But like, it is an easy way to get views, okay? It is. Anyway, on the Leaflit.
First off, there's a pretty... Did you guys see this? J.K. Rowling apparently has ratioed Nyara VT. This is the latest news that just came out. So we have Nyara with a posters. This is kind
of... it's a small world. So before I let Leaflit talk, let's read this. So I saw this in the news recently. Girl guiding banned trans people. I didn't even know what this was before I fucking read about it, but obviously it's stupid, it sucks, okay, transphobic. Literally excluding young girls from activities just because they're trans is only contributing to the mental health issues that trans people face. J.K. Rowling, famous TERF, says it helps girls. It tells girls they have the right to things of their own. It tells girls they have the right to say no. It reminds girls that the desire of boys does not supersede their feelings, their rights, their discomfort, or their safety. So, for those of you that don't know, the reason that girl guiding did this is because of the Supreme Court ruling. Okay, so to all the people that said that, the Supreme Court ruling doesn't matter, it just changes your driver's license, fuck you, okay, go fuck yourself. But anyway, J.K. Rowling doesn't believe that trans women are women. She is, famous transphobe, just, like, gets really transphobic with it on the timeline. She kind of fell into obscurity, and I didn't hear from her for a while. I mean, there was the Jordan Peterson thing, but, that was about it. And, I guess now she's popping off again. I mean, I don't know, man. I haven't heard anything from her. But, anyway, it's stupid, okay? It's just blatant transphobia, okay? Like, barring trans girls from being in the fucking Girl Scouts or whatever, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's exclusionary. And they do it because they think that trans people are evil girl diddlers or something. They think trans women are like child predators, and it's just it's really gross. Like that's something that the same scrutiny isn't really applied to trans men. Okay, not that trans men don't have their own set of optic issues to deal with, but like trans women are, they're false women, right? I'm not saying that like this is what I think. This is what fucking TERF people believe. Okay, so trans women are pretenders. They are like child predators, all that stuff, and that is the justification for doing what girl guiding is doing here. And anyway, it's not true. Okay, trans women are not fucking predators. Obviously, it's fucking crazy. But they keep hitting this button like trans people are groomers, they're groomers, like dog. How about our politicians are groomers? How about that? How about we release the Epstein files? Have we forgotten about that? What's going on with that anyway?
apparently has ratioed Nyara
find
VT.
out.
This is the latest news that just came out. So we have Nyara with a post here. This is a kind of let's like go into this. Okay, so Nyara's like first post here is a serious question. Who does this help? Literally excluding young girls from activity. Okay, so let's read the original post first, okay? Pink News reports girl guiding. The hell is that? What the hell is girl guiding? The hell is that? Girl guiding will no longer allow trans young people to join the scouting groups under new updates to its inclusion policies. The group, which is previously, is this like the Girl Scouts? It's a UK version of the Girl Scouts, okay. The group, which was previously known as Girl Guides, announced on the 2nd of December that it had made the difficult decision to ban all trans girls from its groups, including the Rainbows, Brownies, and the Guides and the Rangers. The organization first allowed trans girls to join its scouting groups in 2017 after passing new guidelines aimed at supporting all girls and young women. However, it has since reversed those guidelines following detailed considerations in the wake of the Supreme Court's judgment determining that the 2010 Equality Act's definition of woman referred to biological sex only. All right, well, and you know, to be honest, I'm gonna be real with you. I mean, tell me if I'm lying here. This is the natural result of people decategorizing everything. Of course this would happen. So if you have you have transgender people, right? And you say, okay, well, listen up, what is that? That's whatever. It's whatever you want. It's whatever you decide at that moment. If you decide tomorrow that you're a woman, then you're a woman. If you decide tomorrow that you're a man, then you're a man. There's no process, there's nothing. It's whatever you say you are. It is inevitable that this would be the result. With the lack of process, the lack of vetting, dude, maybe lack of vetting is the fucking issue in society. For some reason, we just have decided to accept everybody without any sort of filter. And again, this is the issue with it, is when you do that, and you create such a, well, you know, it's just whatever you say you are, then obviously people are gonna say, well, wait a minute, this is very abusable. You know what, let's just go as hardcore as possible. Now none of you trans people can join. This is just a natural result of that, obviously. Because people don't want to deal with edge cases. People don't want to deal with it, right? Because you're gonna have to assume that everyone's like that at that point. Because all it's gonna take is like a bad actor. So I mean, like, here's the thing. Say that girl guiding did this. Okay, let's hear me out. Let's like construct like a hypothetical. All right, so what do you think would happen if girl guiding said instead, like, listen, we have a case where, you know, this boy just said that they were a girl to like join, you know, the scouts or whatever. They did that. But you know, they're kind of like they change their gender whenever they feel like. Whatever they feel like tomorrow. That's like the gender that they pick. And they want to join the scouts. What do you think would happen if girl guiding said, okay, those people are banned. Sorry. Those people are banned. So any trans person that hasn't gone through the process, they're banned. What do you think's gonna happen? Do you think that the trans community is gonna be okay with that? Do you really think that they would be satisfied with that? Oh, okay. So there's like a process for which like you can determine if a kid is trans, you know, whatever, you know, hypothetically.
Yeah. No, why would trans people... You're saying... I think what Leaflit is saying is that trans people would not be okay with that? Why? Why do you think that? Trans people in sports, right, in professional sports, depending on the league, but pretty much they all work roughly the same, okay? They have to go through a vetting process where they basically prove their transness, okay, to compete in the sport. Okay, now, in my opinion, this isn't ideal, but the way that sports do it, in my understanding, it's not very problematic. You know, it's fine. Okay, whatever. And trans people, by and large, are fine with this. Why do you think this wouldn't apply here? Why do you think that? It's fucking crazy. Right, and then, you know, okay, went through the process, and then we'd let them in, but everyone else you can't join. Do you think they would be okay with that? Like, let's be real. Yeah.
Are they going to accept that? Probably not. and this is the issue. Like, I've been saying...
Probably not. Probably not. Shut the fuck up. What do you know? The fuck do you know about trans people? Fucking dumbass.
This is the problem with the trans community. Is they don't have any sense of... They have zero respect for normal society. That's the issue.
According to who? To you. According to you. No respect for normal society. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? What, cis society? Yeah, I mean, trans people, they be trans, okay? They're not like everyone else, okay? Whatever. That doesn't mean that they like want to kill cis whitey or whatever. They want to kill whitey. Okay,
no boundaries,
man.
exactly. It's all or nothing.
You're delusional.
Right? And so when you create a situation like that, obviously, where is it to go? Except, okay, we're going to take the maximalist, like, other side position now. None of you can join. Obviously, that would happen. And you see this happening, again, in real time, all across all aspects of gender in society, where people's positions have changed. From before, it being like,
no.
oh, okay, well...
No. People's opinions haven't changed majorly. Okay? Like, whenever you hear somebody say that there's been like a recent shift in like Americans' opinions, they're probably bullshitting you. Probably. But except that that kind of has happened recently. And I think it's because of the Epstein shit, okay? And the tariffs and like what I'm saying is American, like, people say all the time that like there's been this huge shift. Americans are changing. They're changing their minds, and like usually when people say that, whether it's left or right, they're making shit up, or they're like, it. And anyway, that's what she's doing here. Okay, people didn't change their minds on trans people. The permission structure for being transphobic changed. Okay, it became more permissible to be transphobic, and not because of the like mainstream opinion. Okay, no, because of our government, because of the Supreme Court. Do you understand? Because of state legislators. It became easier and more permissible to be transphobic, to be openly transphobic, like you're being right now.
Well,
that's it.
Well, you say you're a girl. Okay, well, let's see some process. Like maybe like we'll talk about it. We'll talk about you being in women's spaces after you get surgery, or after you've gone through the process for this amount of time. You've had psychological testing for this amount of time. Then we can talk about it, right? It went from that to I could say I'm a man tomorrow and I'm a man. Do you see my point, chat? Do you see my point of how all of the boundaries have been fucking demolished, crushed, tossed aside, where they don't care anymore about any. They don't care about people, reasonable people that just want to live their lives with how things were. A reality.
What is your evidence of this? Like, you are just making insane, hyperbolic claims. Like it's true in my mind. Trans people hate me in my mind. They're like, no, man, dude, you're fighting shadow demons right now. Okay, this is not happening. Okay, trans people are not like this. Trans people are mostly just normal fucking people. The only thing that's different about them is their transness, okay? Their trans identity. That's it. That's the only thing that makes them... Other than that, for the most part, they're just like you and me, okay? They're just like regular fucking people. And that's why I hate to hear shit like this. I hate it. Because Leaflit is sort of on the right track here, okay? Transphobia is becoming a bigger problem. It is, okay? It's become more permissible. I don't think it's... That indicates that people have changed their minds, okay? I think that transphobes have been transphobic this whole time, okay? And people who are, like, pro-trans have been supportive of trans people this whole time, okay? And that's it. But anyway,
that has been known since the dawn of time. They want to toss all of that aside. Any sort of respect for the majority of society, like they've completely changed things to where the minority should decide everything. Whoever's the most butthurt, whoever's the most sad, they should decide everything. And the only reason that's been sustainable is because, to be honest, people in the West are really nice. Western culture people, we're very nice compared to the rest of the world. Try doing that in fucking Pakistan.
So nice.
Or Iraq.
Yeah, we're so nice,
They'll fucking
man.
kill you. What? Somalia. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, Americans, the West, Western culture, we're very nice and accepting people. And they abuse our tolerance. They weaponize it against us, basically. And it's like I said, this overreach. The funny thing is if you were to, I'm old enough to remember, basically everyone saying, yeah, gay marriage, sure, yeah, all right. Majority of people thought that. Whatever you think personally, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the majority of people. Majority of people were okay with it. Now people are like, I don't know about that. You remember how we said, and then remember how they said it was a slippery slope? And you guys said it wasn't? Yeah, I don't know. Drag queen story hour? Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. We in a polite society like Japan is polite? Well, Japan is Japan. America's America. I don't think America has to be Japan. It's just people have discovered basically the kindness of the West and have used it against us in every fucking way. And if you really think about it, it's so true. They've used, I'm speaking as an American specifically, and maybe you can speak for your own country if you're from a different country, but as an American, they've weaponized our niceness against us, our kind nature as Americans. They've completely used it against us. Oh, we need money because we got attacked by this other country and they're very big bad. And like, you care about us, right? You care about the rest of the world, right? You care about these innocent people being hurt, right, America? Give us more money, otherwise people are going to die. Oh, American economy is so good. You can give money to people that have nothing. Oh, this country sucks really bad, and people want to move to. People want to get out of there because it's bad. Like you're gonna let them in, right, America? They've completely weaponized this against us. Rana says the problem I see with them taking the maximum counter positions is that it starts creating a culture where that maximum counter attitude becomes a norm. Right now, it's trans issues, immigration issues, but this could easily expand to maximum with other things. So I'm not really a fan of the maximum position on things. It's like I said, I'm a moderate. I've never lied about that. I've told you guys straight up that, as much as everyone likes to say that I'm an alt-right, turbo far-right, Nazi authoritarian, KKK, literally like Shin Mecha Hitler, as much as they like to say that about me, it's just not true. I'm very moderate about things. I've never lied about that. And I definitely don't like the maximal position on things either, but I mean, that's where we're going.
I mean, it's not that, dude, you are not a moderate. No, you're not. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. You might be like moderate leaning. Okay, maybe. But like, there's been a change here, at least in the online space. Okay, there is no more moderate. There is no more. Call it whatever you want. I think that it's because moderates don't sell. Okay, they don't get views. They don't. Like, people don't want that. People want extreme. They want radicalism. They want all that shit. Okay? They don't want fucking milquetoast. Okay? That's why you've achieved the moderate success that you have, Leaflit. And anyway, the more extreme you go, the better you're gonna do. Okay, so I think that Leaflit has been trying to play the moderate angle more lately, and I think that's why her channel stagnated. Like, I think around the time I started reacting to her is when she started dialing it back. Okay, because she was I think it was the controversy that she got in with food shops. I think that's what did it. Okay, it was that because food shops has a crazy and ravenous community because she's a DGGer. Okay, so here's the Leaflit timeline. Okay, from my point of view, I started reacting to food shops. Food shops made a video about Leaflit that went viral, got noticed by Asmongold. Okay, got picked up by Asmongold, and Leaflit, I don't think she saw a big boom in subscribers over that month, because I remember when I started watching her, she was at 130,000 subscribers. I remember that. And she stayed at 130,000 subscribers until, like, yesterday, basically. Or, like, the day before. Like, she's gotten, like, if you're looking at her subscriber account right now, she gained these 10,000 subs in like 2 seconds, dude. Like, as soon as Asmongold made that video about her a couple days ago, she just fucking shot. I mean, she went viral. Got a few thousand more subs. That's great, but she's been stuck at 130K for months and months on end. And anyway, all that is to say is shit, I fucking had a point, dude, and I forgot what it was.
As much as they like to say that about me, it's just not true. I'm very moderate about things. I've never lied.
Oh yeah. So the reason that I think she got picked up by Asmon this most recent time, like a couple days ago, is probably because she did that debate with Nyara. I mean, that was actually what Asmon made the video about, right? Yeah, it was about the debate. But, like, think about that. Leaflit was incredibly transphobic during that debate, if you even want to call it that. It was more like a normal person versus an extremely transphobic narrative. But anyway, Leaflit took a more maximalist position during that debate. And you can, give whatever reason that you want about that, but I think it was just because she knows. She knows that that's what sells, whether it's intuitive or whether she planned it. I don't know. But Leaflit saw great success from that. I think if she's smart, if she were really smart, she would 180, okay, and she would come over to the left, over here with J-Star. But I think what she'll more likely do is, if she's smart, she'll like become more extreme. Okay, she'll try to like, appear as a more extreme right-wing figure. But that depends though, because maybe she's still scared. Okay, that's the thing too. Is like, which one outweighs the other? Is it her intelligence? Is it her fear of backlash? Right? Because at the end of the day, the more extreme you are, the more prone to criticism you are going to be. Okay, like the more extreme you are on the left or the right, people are going to come after you more. They are. And they're going to make videos about you, and they're going to comment on your videos, and you're going to get lots of engagement, sure, but it's going to be very negative. Okay, you're going to get a lot of negative engagements. So, like a lot of, me personally, I don't care if you hate me and you comment. Actually, I like it, okay? I like talking to people. And I like hearing their perspective, and I like it when they hear mine. But that's the thing, is you have to look at it that way, because a lot of these people will be very insulting. They'll be very mean. They'll tell you they want to kill you. They want to send you to prison. And like, you can engage with those comments. You can, say like you're a crazy person for saying that, and whatever else. But I don't know. A lot of people just aren't built like me, I guess.
Right about that.
So.
And I definitely don't like the maximal position on things either. But I mean, that's where we're going.
I'm just
that's
such a moderate. I'm just
such
such a
I'm
moderate.
just watching it. I'm literally just sitting here watching the train wreck. I see it coming. I know what's gonna happen. I've known that this was gonna happen for a long time. Believe the internet says all those things clearly can't lie on the internet. Yeah. Well, the reason they call me that is because it's the only way for them to fight against me. It's like I said, like they won't fight against me with logic and philosophy. They won't fight me on it. So they basically have to. It's kind of like what Andrew Wilson said yesterday. They have to basically poison the well. They have to go after you in whatever ways possible to discredit you, so that they don't even have to fight you in the first place. I mean, look what happened with Nyara. Look at how many people were mad at Nyara for even talking to me. Which is why, as much as you guys.
Yeah, I get that. I get why people were mad about that. I disagree with it though. So I actually I kind of agree with Leaflit about that. Not that it really fucking matters. Okay, but anyway, the only reason I don't think it was wrong for Nyara to do that debate is because she has the smaller audience. Okay, that's it. When you're a leftist and you're talking about debating a far-right extremist like Leaflit, a person that called Palestinians subhuman, orcs, okay? She literally said they were like orcs from the Lord of the Rings, okay? When you're talking about platforming a crazy person like that, you have to be really careful, okay? You need to do it for a good reason, okay? Such as exposing yourself to a bunch of people, okay? That's it. I can't fault Nyara for having that debate when Leaflit has an audience that's 10 times as large as hers, or I think 5 times as much. But it is an easy way to get views, okay? It is, and that's it. And also I've talked about this before as well. When you're debating another content creator, it's not just about subscriber accounts. It's also about who is subscribed, okay? Who is watching their videos, okay? Leaflit's community in particular, I don't know if I could convince a lot of them. I think that she certainly, like any other content creator, she has a lot of moderates in her community, and those are people that I can speak to. Those are people that I could convince even of certain things, and if I can convince them on smaller issues, maybe they'll watch my videos. Maybe they'll come over and start watching my videos, and hear my perspective. That's something else that you need to think about. So all that is to say it is problematic. It's always problematic to platform a Nazi, to platform a far-right extremist. But it's pros and cons, okay? Like, there are good things for doing it. You have to weigh the pros and cons of it. And sometimes you will find that the pros outweigh the cons, okay? And then you debate them. So that's the difference between Nyara debating Leaflit and someone like Destiny debating and platforming fucking Nick Fuentes. Okay, open white supremacist, open neo-Nazi. Like, he doesn't even try to play a moderate, role. So, anyway, what I just said is a message to all the leftists out there, okay? Just, like, please stop saying... Like, you have to understand, Leaflit is... Again, not a moderate, but she is a decent representation of right-wing ideology, right-wing politics in this country right now. And so I don't think it's such a bad thing to platform her. Like Nick Fuentes is, I would say at least marginally more fringe. More like Groyper aesthetic. I think that Leaflit has, keep in mind, as a VTuber, okay, as a VTuber, she has more mainstream potential, more, she is certainly more like palatable to a mainstream audience than someone like Nick Fuentes, in my opinion. Okay. That being said, she's a VTuber, and I'm actually convinced now that VTubers kind of shot themselves in the foot by becoming VTubers, okay? I don't think it's a great way to, build an audience or whatever. Unfortunately. Unfortunately for them. Okay, anyway, that rant was long enough. Moving on.
Dislike Nyara, I at least commend them on being able to speak, have a conversation, because no one else will. Well, actually, I have another person that's been messaging me asking, what do you guys think? Should I talk to them? I've had another person on the left that wants to have a conversation with me about trans stuff, apparently, and maybe, yeah, I don't know. The smaller VTuber, why bother? It helps me to hone my skills. Am I the only one that thinks that? I don't know. Maybe I just have a gamer mentality. I'm just a gamer mentality. The more I play, the better I get. The more I play without giving up, the better I get, the stronger I get. Stella Montes, lose 10 rounds in a row, come out with big loot, learn all of the fighting, learn how to position, learn how to peek, learn how to rotate, learn everything. And I might die over and over and over again. As long as I don't alt F4, I'm still learning, I'm getting stronger. Do it for Charlie. I think about that all the time, Dark Knight, David. Anyway, it's like I said, so in conclusion, for what I've been saying is that this is the natural progression. This is the natural progression of the overreach, basically. And to be honest, I would be against this anyway. And this might be a hot take. Well, not here, but this is probably a hot take on the internet as a whole. Not here. Here, you guys will agree with me on this, but I think this is a bad idea in general because again, I don't subscribe to the idea of trans kids because I think they don't know enough. I think that trans kids do exist. They'll say that, oh, you don't think trans kids exist? No, I think they exist. I just don't know if they're trans or not. There's too much societal pressure, too much parental pressure, too much propaganda, too many psyops that and kids are too impressionable, too malleable. Their mind. So, scientifically speaking, and this is why grooming exists, by the way. You know how they say grooming? The fact that the word grooming exists is basically proof of what I'm saying. Is that kids are very they have a lot of neuroplasticity. It's the reason they learn stuff faster, pick up on culture faster. Kids
That's true.
really take in a lot more than we would think. So, and, of course, there's varying degrees of this, but I worry that a lot of kids are being kind of pushed into it by people, and then they have a sunk cost fallacy at the end. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Is that
no,
there's a lot.
No, man. No, look, just let kids do what they want, okay? It's I mean, not whatever they want, obviously, okay? But, when it comes to their personal identity, how they express themselves, just let them do it, okay? Who fucking cares if the kid, decides oh, actually I want to do girl things, even though I'm like a boy or whatever, and I want to be a girl, and then they come to regret it, okay? And by the way, when we're talking about that, we're talking about I want to say 1 in 1,000 trans people, okay? And already 1 in 1,000 people are trans, so we're talking about like 5 people. We're talking about like 5 trans people, okay? They go back and they're like, actually, I regret it. Trans people overwhelmingly do not regret their decision to transition. Okay, that is a fact. That is an undeniable fact. To say that that isn't true is just blatant transphobia, because you're lying you're lying about something that doesn't fit your narrative. Okay, but that is true. People don't, by and large, trans people do not regret their decision. But look, even if they do, it's just like, I'm sure that to detransitioners, it's like a big deal to them or whatever. It's not to me, okay? And it's not to, like, most other people. Like most other people, normal people are just like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't really give a fuck. Sorry, there was a fly. Finally got it. Most people are like, oh yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't really give a fuck. And that's it. Okay? So, fuck, I lost my train of thought, man.
Of course, there's varying degrees of this, but I worry that a lot of kids are being kind of pushed into it by people, and then they have a
Yeah. So if people go back and they're like, oh, I'm not trans, like, actually, I'm the gender I was assigned at birth, like, that's how I see myself. Great. Okay, like, who cares? Like, why is it a big deal? Why is it a big deal? Why the fuck does it matter? Okay, it doesn't. Kids try things, okay, they try things, maybe they find out that it's not actually for them, maybe they don't like it, maybe it's like, oh, maybe I'm not actually a girl, okay? Fine, whatever. It's just not that big a deal. It just isn't.
Or you're like a little boy and you like girl things. That's like, oh, you must be trans then. And then they're like, oh, if you like dresses, you must be trans. You like to play with I don't know, trucks or whatever.
Nobody does that.
You like to play with those things. Oh, you like cars. You like to fix cars. Oh, you must be a boy. And I think like this kind of seeds in the mind like that entire route. And I'm not saying that everyone is like that, obviously, but I think for some people, especially, and you see this issue with people that are kind of
nobody is like that. Nobody does that to children.
Autistic, other mental conditions.
This is just the same argument as like they're grooming kids. It's just with a more palatable face. Okay, more like it's easier to hear something like this and believe it and identify with it. Like, oh yeah, that does sound right. That is what they're doing. It's just the same argument. They're child predators. They're grooming kids with a different coat of paint. Okay, that's it.
Like compounding factors, right? And these compounding factors lead to more impressionability, which allows them to be groomed into a certain ideology, certain thoughts on themselves, right? And I think the idea is that when it comes to kids, it's better to not really expose them to like sexual things like that, because they're most impressionable when they're young. And of course, like I said, there's a variance when it comes to like the level that a kid is impressionable. Obviously, it's variance with all the compounding factors, right? Anyway, my point is, I don't know if the kids are actually trans, and there's a lot of cases of detransitioners. This is not an uncommon phenomenon. There are people who have done the whole thing. You've had women who have
it is not an uncommon phenomenon. It is literally, definitionally, categorically an uncommon phenomenon. Okay, because we're talking about the 1% of the 0.1% of the 0.1%. That's crazy. That's crazy to say that's common. That's common? Common? Are you fucking kidding me?
Chopped off their boobs, basically, in pursuit of like, oh, everyone said that I'm trans. I like guy stuff, so obviously, I must be trans. They cut off their boobs, they take hormones, their voice is deeper, and then they hit like, they hit the part of life.
Yeah, dude, they do all of that. Yep. Yeah, and so Leaflit, what she's saying here is, somebody's like, I'm trans. They immediately get top surgery. They do this. They do the other thing. Okay, whatever. And then they're like, oh, I regret this. Like, who are you talking about? Who does that? Who gets top surgery? And then is like, you know what? Man, I wish I had thought more about this. Like, dog, it's fucking top surgery. What the fuck are you talking about,
around your
man?
20s, when your mind kind of becomes more rigid, and then they're like, oh fuck, I made a mistake, right? And now now you can't do a lot. You completely fucked your life forever, basically.
Yeah.
And people will say like,
that's what happens. And that's what happens. Like, dog. I don't know how to convince people this isn't what fucking happens. This never fucking happens. Ever. Trans people, generally never regret their decision to transition. I'm not saying it literally never happens. It basically never happens, okay? It happens so little that it doesn't really fucking matter, okay? And I'm sorry if that's like writing off people's lived experiences or whatever, but like I said, we're talking about like actual estimates, like maybe a few dozen people, okay? Maybe like a few hundred people at most. Like, this is just nothing. This is like a small fraction of the population. Why are we talking about this, dude?
First of all, like, is it really?
I know why we're talking about this. It's because you're a fucking transphobe. That's it.
Issues with sterility, lack of fertility, secondary sex characteristics that are obviously irreversible. I mean, guys, riddle me this. If trans medicine is so reversible, then why do trans people sound like that? Why do they get so many surgeries to like make their chest look more masculine? Why is that the case? If it's so reversible, like, so if an FTM person has to get their boobs removed, then through like a surgery, and people are so upset about like their chest scars.
Yeah, not everything is reversible. Okay, that's why I was saying like the decision to get top surgery is a big decision. Okay, that's like, I think anyway, and the people that I've talked to about it, that have actually gotten it, and like gone through with it, like it's something that requires a lot of thought, because a lot of like the trans stuff, like the things that you do to feel like the gender you identify as, right? To like the things that you do to solidify your gender identity is usually like taking hormones, okay? And the effects of taking hormones is reversible. It is. But once you get, for the most part anyway, with very few complications, and I say this as a non-doctor, okay? I don't even actually really like fucking know about this shit for real, okay? Like I encourage my my viewers to do their own research about this shit, okay? But anyway, if somebody is going to get top surgery, they have thought about this decision very carefully, because it is a big deal. It is, irreversible surgery. And so to say that there are people that get the surgery and then regret it is delusional. It's insanity. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't.
How is that reversible? You know what I mean? Like no one would ever complain about it, right? Am I wrong? This is a genuine question, actually.
But basically what she's saying here is like, oh, well, it's not all reversible. It's not all reversible. Well, yeah, like some of the... There's another one. Some of the treatments for the transitioning are not reversible. No shit. Okay, it's just a lot of them are. So this isn't a fucking argument.
Well, no, is the penis removal reversible? Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the secondary sex characteristics, right? Because when you hit puberty, there are secondary sex characteristics that both, it has to do with the sexual dimorphism of the human species. So, like, because of that, like, during puberty, there's a reason why during puberty, there are sexual differences that occur. If it's so, and see, that's my concern. My concern is that a lot of the detransitioner people, who knows, like, how much of it was them being influenced into doing it. Feels like a whole trans thing is a backdoor of legalizing child mutilation. I don't know about that. I don't know. Like, honestly, like, okay, I'll just tell you, like, how I really feel about this. I actually do think
it already is legal. What? It is. It's commonplace in America, okay? And a lot of people think it's fucked up, myself included. But, like, it is what it is. And, it's kind of fucking funny that these people, like, make a big deal about, like, trans kids or whatever, when, like literally, we do this to... we do this to babies. We do this. And it's fucked up, okay? It is. I'm not gonna act like it's like priority number one or anything, but it's like a fucked up thing that this country does to people, and
The people who are saying that kids should be trans.
And you never talk about it. You never. So like, why is it so wrong when trans people do things with their own bodies, right? They make the decision to do it. But when we do it to babies that don't know what the fuck is going on and can't and are incapable of consenting, that's fine. Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. Or it's like, not a big deal. It's not that big a deal. We need to talk about the trans shit. That's what we need to talk about. Like, shut the fuck up,
should be able to receive
dumb
HRT
bitch.
treatments and puberty blockers and all of these surgeries at 16 for certain surgeries. The people that believe that, I honestly think that they think that they're doing a good thing. They actually think that they're being nice, and I think that has to do with if you were to ask me like what I think about it, it's probably because there are trans people that probably loathe their secondary. I mean, this is just obvious. This is just the truth. There are trans people that loathe their secondary sex characteristics because they hit puberty and they had to go through that, and so they hate that. So they're like, well, if it were me, I wish that didn't happen. Therefore, we should fix that for future trans kids. I think that's like their line of reasoning. I don't think it's nefarious. It's not really nefarious. I just think it's short-sighted. Does that make sense? Dysphorics versus trans people, dude. I don't even know what. I'm gonna be real. I don't even know what trans means anymore. Because like before, trans meant dysphoric people, but like we've kind of removed that, haven't we? Actually, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck that means anymore. Trans meant dysphoric people, but like we've kind of removed that.
Trans meant what? Wait, I'm gonna slow it down. What is she saying?
Because like before, trans meant dysphoric people, but like we've kind of removed that, haven't we?
No.
Actually,
No, it didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, gender dysphoria is just the diagnosis, okay, and it still is. That's like the medical diagnosis. It's gender dysphoria. What she's talking about is gender dysphoria, and it's like that didn't go anywhere. Like, that's still, to my knowledge, the like official diagnosis of it. And I think that the term is a little silly, but I don't really have a major problem with it. It's whatever. Call it whatever the fuck you want. Call it whatever you want. What I care about is the treatment for it. Okay, that's it.
I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck that means anymore, to be honest. You say ignorance, well, I say malice. It's the same lack of malice in the action argument. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm capable of that line of thinking, right, Ron? I don't think it's really, well, for most people. Most people. I'm sure there's probably some fucking psychos. There's probably some psychos like in their basement, fucking I don't know, jacking it to egg cracking or whatever. I'm sure there's people that are like that, but I don't think that's everybody. I think a lot of them are they actually think that they're doing like a good thing, for real. I just don't think they've really thought through it. Either that or they don't care. Either they haven't thought through it, or they believe it. This is this might be another thing that they believe is well, if you and I'm just trying to guess their argument here. Again, I don't know if this is the argument that they would make, but I would assume that this would be the argument that they would make. Well, in their head, if they were to be honest with themselves, I think they would say, well, you know what, detransitioners, too fucking bad. You fucked up, you're stupid, you made a bad mistake. Why should we affect the people who are actually trans for that reason? I think that's what they would say.
Well, yeah, they would.
The angle that I take on it is that children are fucking stupid, and they can't.
Hold on. No, dude. They would say that, and the reason why is because of what I just got done saying, which is that detransitioners are just like they make up this much of the trans population. It's like, it's nothing. I'm sorry. Again, if you are a detransitioner, you speak your truth. Speak your truth. I don't think I've ever talked about this on stream before, but I have a friend who has appeared on stream that is a detransitioner, and I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not going to expose anyone, but like literally I've had them on the stream, and we've talked about political issues, and like, I respect detransitioners, okay, as long as they aren't transphobic at the same time. I don't have any problems with them, okay? If you're a detransitioner, speak about it, say what you want. Say what you want, as long as you don't get all transphobic with it, like a lot of detransitioners do, then it's fine, okay? But anyway, Anyway, to act like that detransitioners are like she used words like it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. She said that stupid shit earlier. Like, no, it is uncommon. It is. Okay, first of all, being trans is uncommon. Okay? That's just like step number 1, okay? But also number 2, as I've said over and over again, and I know whoever's watching this is fucking sick of hearing me say it, but it's true. Okay, the detransitioners are a small portion of trans people. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, you want to fucking act like this shit is crazy. It's not. Okay, it just isn't. Like, detransitioners are people too. They talk about their lived experience. Usually they you know, I'm sorry if I'm like stereotyping detransitioners, but like usually they get pretty transphobic with it. They're like, you know, abolish transness or whatever. Forced cishet by gunpoint. Okay, that's like the average detransitioner right there. But anyway, let's just keep going.
Make decisions for themselves. Therefore, we should follow that logic.
Here we go.
For the same reason that children, you cannot have with children because of them being incapable of comprehending a life-altering decision. That's the logic that we use, correct? Why doesn't that also apply to the trans thing?
What? That is so fucking disgusting, dude. No. Okay. So, once again, she's more overtly comparing, you know, child transitioning, like diagnosing children with gender dysphoria and then like helping them with their transition. She's saying that is akin to molesting a child, raping a child, which is really fucked up and not the same thing at all. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't know, like, what else is there to say? You know, first of all, a lot of the, transitioning methods, right? Like, as I've already said, like 5 minutes ago, is not necessarily permanent, okay? Using hormones, right, increasing certain hormone levels in your body, is not going to change your body in a way that isn't mostly reversible. Okay, by taking hormone supplements of the opposite hormone. Okay, or not really opposite, but you know, these hormones are not like opposites of each other. They are just like they do different things. Okay, so you've probably heard that all people have estrogen and testosterone, right? The levels are just different. So men have more testosterone, women have less. Okay, so if you take hormones, let's say you're assigned male at birth and you're a child. Okay, and while you're a child, you discover that actually you're a girl, you want to start transitioning, okay, so you do that. If you were to detransition, okay, if you were to become a detransitioner, as you know, if you've been taking estrogen and puberty blockers, you can reverse a lot of that. Now, there are some physiological effects of puberty that you can't get around, okay, like that are permanent, okay. I would say height is probably one of them, right? Perhaps. I'm not a doctor, okay? I don't even know if estrogen strongly influences height, but that would be an example of something, if I am correct about that you couldn't necessarily reverse at a later age, okay? But, like, when it comes to the way fat is deposited on your body, like the proportions of your body, that can all change. That can change when you're an adult. Okay, you can take hormones to change that. Okay, that's just reality. Okay, so like certain things happen at puberty that you might not be able to reverse, like a growth spurt or a lack thereof, right? If you're taking one hormone over the other, but That's it. Okay, that's like the only thing I can think of. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. If there are other things that are non-reversible, that's fine. We can talk about that. But like, I don't think that creates a debilitating, lifelong problem. Okay, for a detransitioner, I don't think it does. And also, I was talking earlier about this person that I know that is a detransitioner, and I've talked to them about detransitioning before, not on stream or anything, but like I've talked to them about it before, and you know, in their lived experience, and you know, granted this is anecdotal, okay, but in their lived experience, it hasn't been an issue for them, okay? They transitioned, they discovered like, oh, this actually isn't really who I am, and they detransitioned, and it's fine, okay? They're like, it's good, it's whatever. It's not like it's not a problem, okay? It hasn't followed them. It hasn't, you know, resulted in any medical complications or anything like that. And anyway, I was saying earlier that that's anecdotal, and that's true, okay, but I have a feeling that this is probably the same experience for most detransitioners. I mean, I think one thing that this person has told me is that the only thing that has kind of stuck around is like the memory of when they were trans, you know, and that's kind of like had some psychological effects on them, okay, and another thing was like other people's perception of them, because this person like met people, made friends while they were trans, and then they detransitioned, and some of those people like thought that was very jarring. Some of them even thought it was like transphobic to detransition, which is silly, by the way. That's like a silly idea. But you know, the idea that like detransitioning is you know, fundamentally transphobic, I think is, you know, obviously like that's a woke-tard moment. Okay, that's a lived up woke-tard moment. But anyway, other than that's been like the most major, I think that's been the most major thing. But even that just isn't really that big of a deal to this person anyway. But I was saying that because I have a feeling that a lot of these detransitioners, they also have to deal with that. And that's probably where their resentment of trans people comes from. Because they transitioned, and then they regretted it, but they like made friends, and they met people, and they did things while they were trans. And then when they detransitioned, it was strange for the people around them. Perhaps it was like maybe some of them were even accusatory. Okay, and like I think that detransitioners have to deal with that, and that's not right. And anyway, I think that kind of feeds into their transphobic delusions. Okay, where they think that they were fooled into being trans by other trans people, right? That they were like groomed or something. Okay, that's crazy. That is delusional. But anyway, let's keep going. I've ranted enough about this.
That's kind of my thought. I feel like you can't really make a proper argument without addressing that truth, right? The big issue is that someone just lost to them. You know, well, you're probably not wrong, but I don't know. I don't think most people are like that, to be honest. There probably is. And see, you know what? Actually, the fact that you said that LOL is actually perfect. Let me like read what LOL says. The big issue with some is you lost them just now when you said they can't have with children. You know, they can't do the thing with children, right? And I think the fact that you say that illustrates my entire point that the entire movement of trans has been so fucking diluted to mean nothing. Like, what does it even mean anymore? Like, it's like they've let so many fucking psychopathic people like lead their movement that it's unreal. You know, I don't know. Like, the point of all of this, before I dare go around in a circle and go for another lap on this entire thing, I'm just going to conclude here and say that the point of this is that there needs to be, at the very minimum, if we're even going to talk about trans stuff at all, you're going to need to have standards. You got to have standards. It's the only way to actually function in society harmoniously, is to have standards. Otherwise, you're just infringing on everybody's, you're infringing on society. There needs to be process.
Okay, that's fine. No trans people are against that. It depends on you're speaking very vaguely right now. Okay, so it depends on the parameters that you are trying to set, right? So what makes a person trans, what makes them a phony, what makes them a faker. Okay, the parameters for that question are important, and it just can't under any circumstance falsely paint any trans person as being a phony, like any legitimate trans person. And I think that imposing this on trans people is silly, because it just doesn't happen. Okay, it just doesn't happen enough. There aren't enough phony because think about it. Why would there be? You don't need to trans yourself to rape children. You just don't. Okay, I know it's fucked up to think about, but imagine you are a child predator. Okay, I know it's it's nauseating. Okay, but think about if you were a child predator. Would you think, what would make this a lot easier if I transition? I don't think so, man. I don't think I would think that. I think, I would think, let's just walk around and find a child that is alone and wait for them to walk somewhere where there are no visible bystanders, and then just throw a bag over their head or bonk them on the head or something and drag them away. What I'm saying is you don't need the trans thing to do that. You just don't. That's why this argument, it makes no fucking sense to me, and I have asked conservatives to explain it to me. Why is it more advantageous to prey on children as a trans person? Why do you think that? Why? What is your reasoning? And they can never give me an answer. They can never give me a fucking answer. Just give me something. I want to understand you, mainly so I can debunk it, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is politics, okay? We already picked our sides. We're just playing team sports, okay? But I can't dissect your argument. I can't disprove it if I don't even fucking know what it is. And they're not telling me, okay? They're just no, trans people are groomers. Trans people are groomers. It's just a reality. It's just a fact. No, man, it's not. You can't just take these things for granted. You can't. You have to, if you make a claim, trans people are groomers, you need to back it up with something, because that is a very serious accusation, right? To accuse someone or some group of people of diddling children. That's a pretty important thing, in my opinion. You need evidence. You need it. Okay, you can't just throw these words around. Okay, you can't. People get mad at me because I called Trump a pedophile. Okay, there is a monumental amount of evidence against him when it comes to his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, and that is damning. Okay, that is pretty damning. That's not to say that he definitely diddled children, but why the fuck are we talking about trans people diddling children when there's so much more evidence for the president of the United States of America? There is so much more. What are we doing, dude?
There needs to be standards in order to, if you're going to have people that want to exist in women's spaces that are not biological women, then you're going to have strict, incredibly strict standards for who can do that, so that you can avoid the situation of predators. Obviously. Because if you say anybody can do that, guys, if there's one thing about human nature that's always true, is that there are going to be line steppers that are going to abuse the rules in every single fucking thing. Video game, there's cheaters in video games. There's people who steal. There's people who steal stuff. There's people who abuse the system, like Snap EBT. It's just a fact of humanity. And understanding that part of human nature lets you understand why we need to have those guardrails. Why we need to have that kind of gatekeeping. Anyway, moving on.
I think that it is human nature to fear the what leftists will describe as the male gaze. Okay, now what is the male gaze? The male gaze is horny men looking at women, right? Like that. I mean, that's what I think it is. That's like whenever I hear somebody say the male gaze, that's what I think of. I think like, oh yeah, like men, like predatory, maybe like unintentionally, like looking like predators. Okay, and women, they don't like that. They really don't like that. They usually don't like that. Okay, unsurprisingly, and in fact, people don't really like this. Like, me personally, I've talked about this before. I like gay men. I love you guys. Okay, you're great. You're great people. So I sound sarcastic right now, but like some of my favorite people that I've ever met have been gay men. Okay, like everybody loves a messy gay. You know what I'm saying? It's not just women. Okay, we all love a messy gay. Okay, so okay, maybe women particularly love messy gays, but anyway. The reason I bring up gay men is because I have been ogled by gay men, noticeably. I've had gay men not so subtly come on to me in an inappropriate way. Okay, and so all that is to say is like I understand it. I understand like why women like when women talk about the male gaze. Okay, when feminists talk about the male gaze, I get it. Like, it's fucked up. Nobody likes it. And I think that the solution isn't to brutalize trans people. But hear me out. I think that the solution is to install more robust privacy enhancements in our public spaces, okay? And what I mean by that is like fucking doors onto stalls, bro. Like that's what we need. Like, dude, I'm sick of like this has happened to me like 3 times, okay? I go to a new gym, right? I get a new gym, and there's fucking curtains on the showers, okay? Like, I don't want curtains. I want a fucking door. I want a door that closes and locks, okay? Of course. So I don't want to go to the gym with a bunch of gross and sweaty people. Okay, I'm sorry, but like that's what y'all are. And I just want to shower, and like you can see between the like there just needs to be a door that closes, and you can't see in between the, and like all bathrooms should have this. Okay, all public bathrooms, public showers, public toilets, they should all have doors and walls. And like, how are we living in the current year and there's no doors, there's no walls, like in the fucking bathrooms? Like, what are we doing, man? What the fuck are we doing? Like, the problem is trans people? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? But anyway, at the end of the day, there just isn't really a way to stop people from ogling you. They're going to do it, okay? Especially if you're hot. If you're hot like me, okay? Because I'm so attractive, okay? Like, people are going to ogle me. People are going to ogle women, okay? It's going to happen. And you can't really stop it, but you can put safe spaces in public for people to retreat to if they need it, okay? And anyway, introducing trans people into the equation isn't going to take away from that. You know what is going to take away from that? Having no privacy at all in said spaces, okay? Because there's no locks on the doors. There's no doors at all. There's no walls. There's no fucking anything, okay? It's just like everybody can see you taking a shit. Like, why? Like, why? Why is it like this? I'm sorry. I'm going on a rant right now, but like, this is what she's talking about, okay? Whether she knows it or not. Okay, we're talking about like privacy in public spaces, okay, and they wanna make this conversation about trans people, even though trans people aren't contributing to the problem, have nothing to do with the problem, and are just existing. So anyway,
Nyara's response, serious question, who does this help? Literally excluding young girls from activities just because they're trans.
Wow, we're 25 minutes in, and we're finally getting to the fucking post, dude. That's crazy.
This is only contributing to the mental health issues that trans people face due to being ostracized. Well,
that's true.
This helps out the young girls that don't want to worry about that don't want to deal with a boy that's confused. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know what that person is. We don't know. So again, they're taking the maximum position of, well, we're going to protect the majority. Because if you don't want to have rules, you don't want to have rules, you don't want to define anything, then you know what? Let's take the safe route. And the safe route is none of you can join. You see my point? You see my point about gatekeeping? Gatekeeping and having strict rules is if you don't have that, then the rule is just going to have to be bigger. You're going to have a bigger rule that is less inclusive. This is a battle between specifics and broadness, basically. Anyway, yes.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The specifics that you're talking about, these rules, are already in place for something like professional sports. Okay? We don't have this in broader society because, get this, it would be a breach of privacy. It would invade your rights to privacy. Okay? Now, that being said, in this country, we basically have no more rights to privacy because we erased that precedent. We erased the precedent for privacy law by overturning Roe v. Wade. So that's done. Okay, we're done with that. So I don't know. Like, maybe we could do something like this. Maybe we could force trans people to prove their transness. You know, if it gets people off their backs, I'm not totally against it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think it really fucking matters. I really just don't think it does. I don't think that, like, that trans people are not like these malicious actors that are preying on children. It's fucking ridiculous. It's crazy to think that. It's delusional. Have you ever met a trans person? Have you ever talked to one? I mean, obviously you have, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, do you do it regularly? Like, it's not that hard to understand that they're not, like, grooming children. It's crazy.
This is, and again, like, even if you were to make this argument, even if
They're
you
just
were
normal
to use this
people.
logic and say, well, you're excluding young girls from activities because they're trans, this is contributing to the mental health issues of trans people. Well, what about the mental health? What about the mental health issues with the little girls? The little girls.
What do you how? What about the mental health? Dude, they don't know. They don't know. They don't know that it's a secret boy. You know, they don't know that. Okay, because the secret boy is just a girl. It's just a young trans girl. That's it. Nobody cares. Nobody can tell. Nobody can fucking tell. You're delusional. You're delusional if you think that the presence of a trans girl is going to make the cis girls hella uncomfortable. Like, it's not. Okay? Now, kids are mean. Kids are mean. Kids that are different are bullied. Okay, they are. Trans people included. But, like, it's just, like, that. It's not really because they're trans. It's because of the way they look. Okay? It's because of, like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's because of, like, fucking beauty standards, okay? Like, female beauty standards. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? It's like, not everyone is a fucking transvestigator. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, trans women pre-transition, they typically exhibit, like, male physical characteristics, and that can result in some bullying. Okay, we're talking about, like unmedicated trans people. This is what happens. Okay, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that they're not women. I'm just saying, like, that's what fucking happens. Okay, that's it. And anyway, but in the context of children, right? These are like kids. They're not gonna fucking know. Okay, they're not gonna know, because if they're prepubescent, then there has been no development that would distinguish them from the others. Like, there just isn't. Okay, you're crazy.
I was gonna say, I don't want to sleep in the same room as that guy. What if you have a girl that's like,
Yeah.
you know, she's religious about it, and she specifically doesn't want to sleep in the room with a guy? What about their mental health? Now you're making an issue between two people's mental healths, right?
Wait, what religion doesn't allow? What? I can't. You can't be in the same room as a boy. What? That's so crazy, man. What the fuck are you even talking about? What mysterious religion is
exactly.
this?
I know. Or else,
Am I stupid?
But then I'd say, well, what about I'm gonna move on to J.K. Rowling's post. So J.K. Rowling post answers. It helps girls. It tells girls that they have the right to things of their own. It tells girls that they have a right to say no. It reminds girls that the desires of boys do not supersede their feelings, their rights, or their discomfort, or their safety. Yes. Yes. Totally agree. Because again, like, what did I say earlier about? So what if there's a guy?
Everyone's
goes,
a liberal.
You know, say there's like a, I don't know. For the sake of argument, how old can you be in the Scouts, guys? As not like an instructor, like as like an actual scout. What's the age range of that? I don't know. I wasn't in any of those things. 18. Okay. So we have to now construct, right, chat. Now we have to construct a situation that is possible within this. Okay. Hypothetical. What if a 17-year-old boy goes, you know, I'm feeling like a girl now. Tomorrow they're like, I want to sign up to be in the Scouts. Can you join? Well, why not? Why not? According to the logic of trans people can join the Scouts, why shouldn't they? If what a trans person is a person who decides that they're trans, then how are they disqualified? So what if the girls now are like, you know, and you're gonna police their clothes? You're gonna say, okay, well, the boy is gonna wear a dress. Or what if they don't? What if you know what? You don't have to do that, right? According to them, that's not even a necessity. You don't even have to dress up as. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to shave. You don't have to even remotely act like a woman, because like, what are you stereotyping what women are then? Right? So what they're gonna do? What if a man goes, I'm feeling like a woman, and I'm gonna join the Scouts. 17 years old. I'm gonna join the Scouts with all the girls, you know, and I'm not gonna do anything. I'm literally gonna just wear the same thing that I wear now. I'm gonna wear the same everything. I'm gonna act the same. But I'm a girl. How do you combat that? Are you gonna tell them they can't join? Well, why not? By what standard can they not join? That's my point. Is you have to account for that possibility. And they'll say, oh, that never happens, but it can. But it can happen. And I know that people will abuse the rules. But yeah, I totally agree with J.K. Rowling on this one. Like 100% agree with this. This is the natural result of the entire gender movement. And moving away from structure, moving away from procedure, and going into feelings. Taking all of the logic out of it. Completely like eviscerating what trans even means. And they do this with everything, by the way. Like all fucking
Incredible
language. They've eviscerated what racism means.
there.
They've eviscerated what sexism means. They've eviscerated what oppression means. Like none of it means. They've eviscerated what Nazi means. Like none of it means anything anymore.
I love it how a lot of conservative talking points are just like, what if somebody did this terrible thing that nobody has done at all? But think about it. What if they did, though?